Caution. This podcast is designed for mature audiences. We delve into topics surrounding sexuality and intimate relationships in a candid and open manner. Please note that we are not licensed marriage or sex therapists, and the content shared here is intended solely for entertainment and informational purposes. If you are under 18 years old or prefer not to engage in explicit discussions about sex, relationships, or mature language, we advise against proceeding further. However, if you're of legal age and comfortable with such content, feel free to settle in, grab a beverage, and enjoy this episode. Just remember, time flies when you're having fun. Oh, and the stories you are about to hear are true. The names have been changed to protect the guilty.
Welcome to Beyond Monogamy, where every episode is a journey of discovery, liberation, and endless possibility. Join your hosts Roger Johnson and Janet Valentine as they peel back the layers of convention, inviting you into a world where passion knows no boundaries. Beyond Monogamy, a podcast that transcends the traditional norms of relationships to uncover the raw, unfiltered stories about the lifestyle. And now, your hosts, Roger Johnson and Janet Valentine.
All right, so it's been a while since Roger's been on, and I'm so excited for this episode because he returns and we get to hear all about him. Let's get started. Welcome to Beyond Monogamy, the podcast. I'm Janet Valentine.
I'm Roger Johnson.
And I'm Barbie.
Yay! So it's been a while. Roger's been on vacation. I'm kind of jealous. He got a little bit of family time and a little bit of fun away. Tell me what's been going on and what have you heard? What questions you have for us over all of the great stuff we talked about while you were gone?
Oh man, I hate missing these, but there's been some good conversations that I want to come back. Let's see, just catching up, and we'll catch up on the next one on the next time we record. But I don't even know. I know where I'm gonna start. Here's let me just give you the rundown list. Cowboy and Tornado. I want to touch on Tornado, and what it takes to set one off. I want to touch on jealousy. I've got some input there. We need to recap on Eiffel Tower, and then but I'm gonna start with I can't. I remember Steve having that Super Bowl party. It got to this day, I can't fucking believe I missed it. I'm having a moment again, but I had a moment when I was listening to it. I remember people talking about it, and it was like everybody came in with something to get rid of and get off their mind, get off their chest, and then not leave anything on the table. And it kept going and going and going until everybody was just out of gas. When you go through 90 towels, I don't know if anybody else is a number person. When I'm sitting there listening, when you go through 90 towels, and we're not talking about a Playboy mansion full of people. We're how many? I mean, did he say how many couples were there?
I know that he has a little house, and I know that he crams them in, and it's a lot of fun.
I mean,
it's like the old woman in the shoe type stuff. You know?
Those parties are always fun.
Right.
Oh man, as a joke when I'm walking by people, those parties. Well, when I'm walking by women, let me be specific. I'll just like rub up against them close, like it's so crowded and so tight, squeezing through there, it just for fun as a joke. But man, it may not be a joke there. That'd be funny.
Well, so that's also, you bring up something that I forgot. When you're planning these parties, you kind of got to reach out to the other people in your network that plan parties as well, and make sure that you aren't scheduling your party on top of theirs.
Ooh,
because then there's a competition. And it's not, then there's a competition, and then it's because, like, can I go to half of one and half of the other one? And then, oh no, Janet's party, I got to be there by 7:30 or be whatever, so then you do that. But the group that I'm attending those parties every once in a while when I come out of retirement, that group in that particular town has had that problem enough. There three couples that were very consistent about parties and having parties. They just made a consortium and said, I get January, you get February, you get March, you get April. And so then they, once a quarter, they ended up having a party, and then they made sure that there was another party on the other one's month. And they were all inviting the same kind of group of people. So it became, that kind of works out. But I forgot all about that.
That's a
Anyway.
fairly common thing in my area, that there's some hosts that get it, and they'll kind of get together and plan accordingly, and just it's just having a conversation. How many times have I said that in this podcast already, or how many times am I going to say it going forward? It just communicate, just have a conversation.
Right.
And if you do, people who host the other parties will come to your party. So
Exactly.
um,
And then it's kind of nice because you get to go, oh, they did this, or oh, whatever. And then you also help out with the cleanup, or help out with the setup. I mean, you guys were always so good. When the party ended, there were people that were running around to the different beds and stripping off the beds and throwing them down the landing onto the floor. They knew that the washing machine was on the first floor. And it was like a crew. We had these little sex elves that were just running around and just helping me clean up.
But you have to admit, the party was held at a place with a fabulous staircase. I mean, and you could just drop it over. It was
like being a kid again,
Oh,
you always wanted to throw things over the stairs and watch it, and this is just a bundle of sheets that nothing's going to get hurt.
did people slide down that banister?
I've been known to take a mattress and ride down those stairs.
Oh, I know that part. And I was wearing some thigh highs and took a little spin down the stairs, and boom, boom, boom. It was a little slick, but
yes, it was like kind of Gone with the Windish type stuff. You could go down those beautiful stairs, and that was it.
and then boom, boom, boom.
And we had this for somebody who listens to these a lot, they will eventually figure out who I am. We had a gong, and we had a gong at the top of the stairs.
That's right.
And the gong was the cum gong.
That's right.
And anybody who got off was supposed to, when they were done and going to get their drink of water or whatever, go over and hit the gong. And at one point, Big Dick Donnie had some woman bent over the stair rail at the top, and he was eating some carrots, and he was fucking her from behind, and he had the gong, the thing to strike the gong, and he was pounding her and pounding on the gong at the same time.
I think I took Big Dick Donnie on those exact stairs. I think I have pictures.
I want to say when I jumped on Barbie, and it ended gloriously. She just kind of said, "Hurry, go hit the gong."
Yeah.
Well, the gong derived from, we used to have boat parties, and the captain had a bell in the basement, like in the hull of the ship where you guys, where we're hanging out and fucking around. And they told me, when you're done coming, you're supposed to go and ring the bell. And we would do that. And so we made sure we had a bell hanging up at the lake house, but we had a gong. A house party. Okay. Didn't mean to take you off your questions. So let's see. We got yes, the Super Bowl party that you either missed or wish that you were at, and 90 tiles. I believe that was the number that Steve used.
Yeah.
We will have him back, and you'll be able to ask him at that time.
Real quick, what are you doing? What is happening when you do an Eiffel Tower? When I heard it, I have a completely different definition, but you go first. Let's recap.
I'm usually the one that's riding the cowboy, although I have been either position. When you are the one part of the Eiffel Tower, you have to be careful. You have to really have really strong knees, and you have to be careful that you don't smother the guy.
Well,
If you're
You are,
tall, it's okay.
you,
Yeah.
unless he wants
you
to
are,
be.
and then,
I mean,
and then
remember,
it's just,
eventually he's going to need air.
be careful not to kill him when you do it, but
Tap out. Tap
I
out.
have been I've been in either position. The guy is on the bottom, and I've been on the cowboy position. That particular time with Elle, I was writing somebody, and the person I was writing, it was probably Steve I was writing, and he said, "Come here, let me eat you," and I said, "Oh, that's an Eiffel Tower." And then she came over and did it. We set her up, and you are grabbing now someone else I know listened to that particular episode, one of the people from the six pack that we play with. And they said, well, that's not really an Eiffel Tower. That's the London Bridge. And I said, it's the London Bridge if the women are not getting off so much that their heads don't clank together. Then it's the London Bridge. If my head is leaning in and her head is leaning in, then it's the Eiffel Tower, and it's really good.
Okay, and I might be where they were commenting, and out of Urban Dictionary, which is my favorite reliable source for all terms lifestyle, is what I know as an Eiffel Tower. And let me just paint the picture here. So it starts with. It starts with two guys scissoring in the most non-gay way, not like on South Park, scissor me timbers. Okay, they've got to just get ball sack to ball sack somehow, and they're gonna have to scissor. Okay, and you got to be hard, and
Not ever
the
happening in our
girl's
group,
got to be
ever.
the woman's got to be committed. She has to hold both penises up together and slide down on both of them at the same time. I,
Ooh.
I'm
Ooh,
dying to be a
That
part of this. It just hasn't happened
ooh,
yet.
I have had two penises in me. Okay, I've done that. Okay, sometimes accidentally. A DP where one slid
Came in to
accidentally.
say hi and regrets that she has to go back to work and leave such an epic conversation at an
yeah.
epic point.
I guess technically I've done a tipped over Eiffel Tower. I was doing a
You were doing the leaning tower.
I was doing a DP, and then the guy
Leaning
slid down from
tower
the
of
yes,
peace. Leaning tower of penis.
leaning tower of penis happened when the two went into the same hole.
But that was an accident.
It was an accident. I guess we could put a name.
Oh,
So
oh
yeah.
my
So anyway,
goodness.
I'm like,
Oh my goodness.
enjoyable for days. Don't get me wrong, but no, that's not an Eiffel Tower. But anyway,
I
that's
It
will
was
say
the
though,
it
that
doesn't matter. Uh, yeah.
I'm
Uh,
just telling you, the Eiffel Tower, the visual is there. When you have the woman, they're
I
both
can
grabbing
see
each
it.
other's boobs, and then their heads are knocked together. It's
yeah.
wonderful. And they're
Bonk,
and
bonk.
and actually, I think I ended up kissing her. Okay, so if I'm kissing her in the middle of it, that's totally an Eiffel Tower.
That's what
Yeah.
makes it an Eiffel Tower.
You know,
Yeah.
But I
and
will
I'm
say
this person.
there
Go
are a
ahead.
lot of these positions that are simply a Kodak moment. And we got to let people know that.
100%.
So much of this stuff is for
100%.
you to get on there, for it's a visual. But, as far as actually doing the deed, you
Right.
got to put that shit aside. Get
Right.
at it.
You just got to get at it. Right. I started out when I started in the lifestyle, it would say in my profile that I was not bisexual, that I was not, I would not kiss, I didn't want to kiss a woman. And I started out, I'm not kissing a woman. Okay. And somewhere in the middle, oh, I'm pretty sure where it happened a long time ago with a woman named Sue. And I was at a big party. It was one of Tracy's parties, and some guy was fucking me from behind, and all of a sudden I felt fingers of a woman enter with the guy's dick. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't even know she was in the room. And then her finger slid in, and I could feel her rub his dick and rub my clit and rub his dick. And it was the weirdest, wildest feeling. And when he came, I came, and then I just turned around and planted a big one on her and said, that was amazing. So
Yeah.
that little boundary went away.
The, so okay, what's it take to set off a tornado?
Oh, well,
I've
you
had a
she
I've had a howler. We were just missing the full moon, but I will now
you
it's on my list. I got to set off a
you
tornado.
can you need to go back and visit. Go to one of Steve's parties where she is, because
Oh yeah.
every time she comes, you can hear it, and like hubby was just you could he's very good at fingering, and he was fingering her, and then he was looking around her, and so what he does is he waits. He doesn't start with the licky he starts with the fucking to get the juice and the blood to go down there, and then he will pull out and he will lick where all of that great liquid has come, and it's so nasty and fun. And so then he was licking, and as he was licking around her area and teasing her, you could hear her. I mean, I do it inside of my head. I'm hitting the summit and whatever, and then sometimes I'll scream, and Steve knows what I scream. If I really, 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 I have a word that I scream. She she does the tornado. It sounds like a siren. And yeah, Barbie's doing it with her hand. She's like, woo, woo,
It
and she'll
just
go,
gets bigger and
woo,
bigger
woo,
and
woo, and then
bigger.
all of a sudden she'll go, woo, and I mean, it's like decibel levels. It's like Seattle, Seattle Seahawks, you know,
Oh,
football, Kansas City football, decibel levels of just
Yeah.
screaming. Like, I'm sure if my Apple Watch was near it, it would tell me that I was in a room that was too loud. Okay. And it
uh,
just it goes and when she and it goes on for a couple of minutes, and it scared the hell out of me.
the go ahead. I'm sorry.
Now I know. So when it happens, I'll be like, okay, and I'll hear it in the other room. And it's almost like Bill and Miranda, because both of those two scream when they
Yeah.
come, and they scream, I'm coming. Okay. And they scream it loud. It is a tornado sound that just starts out and gets louder and louder. And it is like, whoa, there is a siren in your house upstairs.
I should
She's
have
a
got
siren for sure.
a niche for me going back when I got started. I mean, it had just been something like a big Ric Flair. Woo!
I, I, I did one guy, visiting a city. I don't live in that city. It's a couple hours away. I was at a party, and this guy sang opera. It was the weirdest thing. He was like, and it's a good thing I don't have a dick.
Ah,
You would have seen my dick go like, what? It's
Cue.
just like, dude
The
was singing
acoustics in your
opera.
house are amazing.
And
Oh.
he was singing. He was at a party, and it was our first time at the party. And I thought something was really wrong. I thought I'm in trouble because I got this guy singing opera. And I walked down the stairs, and everybody downstairs starts laughing. They go, "Yeah, we forgot to tell you, John sings opera."
Mhm.
You can't make that up. You just wouldn't
I-
even think of it.
Well, I was listening to that podcast. I had a oh, bless your sweet little heart moment when you were talking about you you were kind of thinking you were in the lifestyle because you're promiscuous. That lady's like, hang on, you're not in the lifestyle.
Anymore. She's like, not anymore. She knew me, and she knew I had been to all of these parties. And then she's like, no, you've been dating this one guy. You have been basically celibate, is what she said to me. She was a friend. She's like, no, you 18 months. She goes, name me somebody else you fucked besides your boyfriend.
Yeah,
And I
you've
was
only
like,
fucked your boyfriend for 18 months. You're not. I
that's what
just
she
thought
did.
it's funny. I
And
was
she
just like, oh no,
basically
but I am because I'm promiscuous. I told him.
and,
Oh, bless your heart.
she's like, you're not. She was such a good friend. And I say that with all, she's still alive. It's not like she's dead, but I don't see her anymore because I moved away, and she was that kind of girl. But yeah, she was very good at. She's also the one that when I was not sure if I should date this guy, and if this guy was the one, if hubby, who boyfriend was going to be hubby number two, I was like, but I met him so fast from when I separated from my first husband. I don't think I should I don't I don't think I should really continue to date him. She's like, will you stop it, Janet? You have dated 3 other losers. And she's like, this guy and you have this karma. He is not upset by you at all with your stuff that you like to do. Hang on to that guy for life. Timing schmiming. Fuck timing is what she said. She was
That's
like,
right.
she was like, he's a great guy. So just continue to date him. And then whenever you decide you want to get back in the lifestyle, but you can't say you're in the lifestyle anymore until you fucked a couple other guys.
That kind of leads me into that last bit I wanted to comment on, and I guess I want to comment on it because it nearly triggers me, and I was triggered listening, and so I'm going to try to keep this subjective, and uh, I'm a guy, so I can only, if it's from a guy's perspective, I don't mean it. I mean it mutually on each side because I've seen it. It's probably a bigger turnoff when it's the guy that can't handle it. But that's from my perspective. But when you're going to get into this, you have to talk and you have to have real conversations that are bluntly honest. And it's not just one conversation initially, it's kind of conversations after each one till you really kind of find your groove. It This is about exploring your sexuality as a couple and also just as much as an individual. And and Steve said it, and you kind of touched on it, like you as a spouse or partner, you have to be okay with the other one exploring what they like. And
Right.
we're not perfect. Have we had moments? Yes. Have we had it at a party on display? No. Um, no. And I'm thinking back, like, well, have we? No. I'm nearly positive we have not. It would just be a conversation on the way home. And so I remember one time when there was kind of a big one. It just kind of didn't. Like, hey, I've been sitting on this for a couple days. It's still bothering me, and I want to throw this on the table so we can talk it out. And you know, but for 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 fuck's sake, like you're going to a sex party. Why would you go with the expectation that your man or woman is going to have the opportunity right in front of them and say no, or if they say yes, they just won't like it? I mean, what I just want to ask these people and kind of shake them, like, what the fuck is in your head? What did you think was going to happen? It kind of thing. You know what I mean?
But I also wonder if people really don't know. So they go into it, they haven't really said any kind of conversation, and they go,
Right.
and then what? I mean, because we've all seen it happen way more than once, where
It,
somebody freaks out or gets uncomfortable, or
They
it,
say they can handle it. They think they can. Then when it happens and they look at the look on their partner's face and that partner has some joy and ecstasy that they've never had with them, then they start to feel jealous and controlling or whatever. I don't care how you want to categorize the emotion, but it's just that, oh, it's almost like that this fantasy is not really good when it becomes real. I thought I was going to like to see her get fucked by another person, but maybe not.
right.
And now, a word from our sponsor.
Introducing Coconut Slickums, the ultimate personal lubricant that brings a touch of tropical paradise to your most adventurous sex party moments. Made from 100% pure coconut oil, Coconut Slickums offers a silky smooth glide that's as natural as a unicorn breeze practicing the rule of 6 or DP. No more worrying about synthetic ingredients or greasy residues. Just a luscious moisturizing experience that feels as good as it sounds. Perfect for enhancing intimacy or just adding a bit of luxurious fun to your day. So go ahead, indulge in the tropical treat your skin deserves with Coconut Slickums. Because when it's this smooth, it's always a perfect day at the meet and greet. To learn more, visit BeyondMonogamyPodcast.com.
Let's get back to hearing from the guilty.
Right.
And
the The latest saying I've heard everybody say is everybody wants to be a gangster till it's time to do gangster shit.
Yeah.
Right?
But yeah, and so I get that, but to lock up and freeze up and ruin the part, where it ruin somebody else's experience or night, or just throw a significant hurdle in it. It just, you know, play at a pace you're comfortable with. And if you're no more comfortable than going to a party and watching, then go to a party and watch.
Yeah.
There's parties that'll do that.
I'm
Go
not
to a party
allowed
and
to, yeah.
watch people have sex. See, go up and ask if can he touch your boob, or can she suck your cock a little bit? Just dip your toe in the water and then go home and talk about that toe dip and and what your actual turn on is. And because for people to do this and not get to the point where they can look at their partner and say, I I heard a girl talking about a gangbang and I'd like to try it. I mean, if you just can't freely say that, you're missing the whole benefit of having this. So, I don't want to make this podcast about that. That's just my
Right.
comment. Like, you got to have a talk, and even if it's a difficult conversation. So,
Right. This is about beyond monogamy. And the thing is that uh, it'll make a good relationship even better, but it'll make a bad relationship go down really fast. And I
Absolutely.
know this
Yeah.
because I
You've
went
lived
through
it.
my first one. I've lived it. Bad, going really worse, and
Uh-huh.
good, going a whole lot better. And I meant it when I turned to my husband after he said, my boyfriend at the time, I love you more than I have never loved you before. That moment is ingrained forever in my heart as the freeing thing that has been just all of my life. I looked for this all of my life, and out of that man, I got that.
Yeah.
And so, when these other people would turn to me and say, "I love you," or "I want to be with you," and blah blah, and I want to be your girlfriend, or all that other stuff. Uh-uh. Uh, this man, he has my heart forever. Okay, because he doesn't he doesn't do. See, I've also seen these couples where one of them is really gregarious, and they go out to the party and they fuck, like rabbits, and find whoever it is that they want to find, and they have a great time. And then their other partner, whether it be female or male, sits to the side and is the wallflower and expects this husband or this wife, they should have helped me to fuck more people at the party. No.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
bad.
It's on you. It's on you when you go to a party. And you have got to get past it. And you're talking to the introverted girl who fakes it till she makes it. That's me. Okay. I walk into a party of strangers, and I am second guessing myself at the door. I am
Oh,
starting out
yeah.
going,
Yeah.
I am already going, nobody's going to want to do me. Nobody knows me in here. And these people are not, I mean, it's great when I have the party and I invite the people and have control. When I'm going to somebody else's party, I'm that introverted girl again that goes in and just decides, even going back to visit the place I hadn't been for 4 years. I walked in like, oh my God, I'm really nervous. I can't believe I'm doing this. And people are going to say, who is she? And they're going to look at me and go, she's 20 pounds heavier, and she's 5 years older, and who's going to want to do this old lady? And these thoughts go through my head, and I meant it when I said Barbie is my angel that comes down and says, stop this shit.
That's right.
Stop
You
this
got it.
shit in your head. Stop it. Okay, go out and have a good time.
Yeah.
You don't know until you try. And so
But boy, those thoughts, they do. They come flowing through. You just got to let them keep flowing, and just keep going. But for me, a couple of beers and I'm everybody's best friend. So there is that.
I never thought of you as an angel, but you'll always have a special place in my heart.
Yes, she
But
does.
speaking of angels, This is there is this we are upon an epic season. Lead us into it.
Of Halloween
Some of
season.
the best stories have come from this. Lead us into it.
The Halloween season. So, yes, this is what I wanted to talk about today. I, um, I have so many great Halloween memories, and then I have some that are just like I thought it was going to be a great party, and then it wasn't. But my best Halloween memory I have is Bill and Miranda's house. They had a party. It was a Halloween party. It was the same group of people that attend my parties. It was at her house. She has a very big house, and everybody was dressed up. And in comes Boo Urkel, dressed as a nun. Okay, Boo is dressed as a nun, and I don't know if Miranda was dressed up. Oh, I think she was Little Bo Peep. Okay,
Oh, that's right.
so she was Little Bo Peep, sexy Little Bo Peep, and he was dressed as a nun. And the whole thing about Miranda is, yes, she's the one that screams, "I'm coming." She comes very fast. So does her husband, Bill. And they both scream at Aunt. The whole thing with her is a glass of wine. A glass of wine will make her very, very happy. And I have a vivid memory of her in her kitchen dressed as Little Bo Peep. She had just finished a glass of wine. Here comes Boo, dressed up in the nun costume. She accosts him, starts kissing all over him, and pulls up his nun's habit and starts giving him a blowjob in the kitchen on her knees. Little Bo Peep is blowing the
Blowing
nun.
the nun. That's fantastic. That's fantastic.
Because I was
That's
like,
fantastic.
this is the whole thing about lifestyle parties is the clothes come off almost anyway. So the only way you start dressed up is, unless you're going to like a big open event where you don't know most of the
Right.
people. One year I was dressed up as a pumpkin, and hubby had a t-shirt that said Peter Peter.
That's cute.
And we got a lot of stuff on that, those Halloween stuff. But my best memory is that of Miranda and Boo, him dressed up as that nun. I know he's listening, and I gotta tell you, that's also spank bank memories for me. That's holiday spank bank memories.
So
That was
great.
good. That was good.
Have you gone to a Halloween party?
Yes. So we went to a small one last weekend. Um, I've got this I've I've got kind of a default um because when I put on a bunch of shit, it's like a lot of shit to take off.
Right. So it's a difficult thing for
It's a pain in
lifestyle.
the ass. It's a pain in the ass.
So
but
is Tarzan with
but
a loincloth.
Yeah, you got
so
to have something accessible.
this was a smaller one. A a girl that I had been with. I'm trying to think if I talked about her yet. I don't think I did, but sh um, so there it's somebody, and I'm hoping to have them as a guest. They're newer to the lifestyle, but man, they are covering a lot of bases. And she's great personality, just a nice big bubble ass, and like so. And just real quick, the because I kind of like her. Yeah,
Kinda.
I came into the room, and she was bent over doggy style, and she started blowing me. I mean, I'm a grower. So it grew. Somebody suggested, like, here, you should come back here and fuck her in the ass. And she's like, ooh, I'm not sure it'll fit. This girl been going 500 miles an hour. And she said there, it's a little thick. I'm not sure it'll fit. And I'll be like, it'll go. It'll go with a little bit of slickums.
Slick
How
'em.
about that?
Slick 'em. That's right.
That's right.
Coconut, slick 'em.
Um, but okay, so anyway, she invited us to this Halloween party, and she was dressed up as a devil, and as all I had playing in my head all night was that song by NXS, "Devil Inside." Oh my God, but I was
Devil
like,
inside,
I
the
want
devil
to a
inside.
devil inside, but I want to be inside the devil.
Yes.
Um, so this was a smaller party. It was my first time there. I didn't know a lot of people, and it was just a different group. Had a lot of fun. Um, and we'll talk more about that. Anyway, my epic memory of a Halloween party is um, I'm at I don't know if I've talked about the cave, but I'm at the cave, which is the house party, and I'm standing in the kitchen. We're just kind of watching everybody come in. I might have been dressed up as Slash from
Ooh,
Guns N' Roses.
the hat and everything.
So I had like rock star jewelry on everywhere. Um, and
I would do that.
the hat, the wig, and sunglasses. And so in walks a new couple, and he's just dressed as a priest, kind of an old like monk priest, got the cross with the chain, hanging like on the rope, and met his wife. Can't remember, she's pretty quiet. I can't really remember her. She's irrelevant to this story. Nothing against her. Um, but in walks the milkmaid.
Ooh.
I don't remember what she was wearing.
Oh, she had to be in a Germanish outfit, right? Something with
Um,
like
Milkmaid. Come on,
lasers and
yeah.
stuff on
she's
the boobs.
irrelevant to this story
Okay,
because
sorry.
her husband, who
Why are we talking about him?
really sunk into the lifestyle, we'll get there, really sunk into the lifestyle, really kind of started exploring things he liked or maybe missed out on. He comes walking in as Caitlyn Jenner.
Get out.
That's
That's
awesome.
fantastic. That's fantastic.
So, um, everybody's drinking, having a good time. Things are getting ready to rev up. And again, in the kitchen, Janet, I turn around and out of nowhere, Caitlyn Jenner is blowing the priest.
Oh, yes. Yes, we like that Barbie, right? Yes.
We like it. Oh, hey, I'd have stopped.
You
I'd have been watching.
the
Oh, yeah.
the things you never thought you'd see, and you want to keep looking away, and you're just trying to but you're trying to process it. And you can't look away, and you're just like, uh, uh, oh. So anyway,
Sex is sex.
that's gotta be probably my most epic Halloween party memory. But Halloween parties are my favorite. I tend to clear the calendar. This these were call in sick to work to go to parties. I highly recommend them to anyone. They are usually the most fun.
Yeah.
I can tell you, I fucked Jesus at one of the parties. This guy was dressed up like, he looked like Jesus. He had totally long hair and he was wearing the sandals and everything else. And it was so accessible. I mean, all you did was pull the tunic up and fuck.
I was going to say, all these guys wearing these priest and
right. So
and Caitlyn Jenner, I'll bet she was in a dress or a skirt. Lift it up. There we go.
Do you have a flashback memory every time somebody's in the room and says, "Thank you, Jesus"?
Yes. So I have that one. There was one, we drove out to this one party. It was out in the country. It was back where we used to live when we were all together, and it was out in the country. The house was a beautiful house, but it was like an hour and 45 minutes, gravel roads driving. Are we at the right place? We finally find it. this couple had been to our parties, had been before, and we had met them once, and then he said, yeah, come on out to my party. This guy happened to own a chain of restaurants, and he had gotten rid of his first wife, and he had married one of the cashier chicks that had worked at his drive-through of his restaurants, and she was this hot young thing, redhead, like 23-year-old, and hubby was so hot for her and had a great time. It was like, yeah, we got to go to this party. So we dressed up like, he was dressed up like Phantom of the Opera, and I was dressed up I have a corset that is um, a nice tuxedo corset, black and white, really cool, looked good on me. I had a mask to go with it. I had on these a little short skirt, real accessible skirt, so all about accessibility. So boobs
Always.
were popping out of the top and accessible, skirt was out at the bottom and accessible. Went to this guy's house. He had a bunch of dead animals around. He was a hunter. And so we were walking around in this house. I was thinking, dude, you could have really done this Halloween party up better. You could have decorated those animals up to have like stuff, but he just basically, and the people that came to the party, there was a few of them that were dressed up and a few that were not. And they were a bunch of people that I didn't know as much. And so I came in and we were looking good. And some other couple, I can't even remember what they were dressed up at. We end up taking off our clothes, getting in the hot tub, talking to them for a while. We spend a half hour in the hot tub talking to them, asked them if they would like to go play, and they say, no, they're just here observing. Right. So
Oh,
that pisses me off. Right. Because I know that you tell people to, if they're new, go and watch it. I want to be the one you watch. I don't want to be the one that brings in the new person. Stop it. Okay. If you're not going to play, don't come to the party and waste my time. But we wasted like a half hour in the hot tub with these people. So we come back out and they're not playing. They're all dressed in their fancy, some of them are dressed in their fancy Halloween costumes that are just like Southern Belle. How are you going to fuck a Southern Belle?
yeah.
You're just, what are you
No,
supposed to do on a
no,
hoop skirt? I'm sorry.
no.
So I could tell she spent a lot on her costume and stuff. It was fine. But you got to choose the accessible costume. So we get in the car, we're driving back, and we see these lights in a small town as we're driving by. And we go, and there is this 2-story bar. And there are tons of cars that are parked around it. And my adventurous husband says, let's go to that party. I'm like, okay. We park out in the car, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I am dressed like total slut. I can't believe
Yeah.
we're going to this party and I'm dressed like this. And I get out, and the car next to me, these younger girls get out. They are dressed like cops, and they are dressed like sexy cops in like short mini skirts. Their boobs are popping out of the top. They are showing more skin than I am showing. Okay. And I'm like, oh my God. So we go into this place. We have not been invited. It's just a pop-up Halloween party. Everybody who wants to go dressed up, a bunch of younger kids and stuff. We walk in, I walk in. I got felt up more at that party and fingered more at that party. It was not a lifestyle party, but I got felt up and fingered by more younger guys. It was a great time. I was like,
Oh, that's
oh my God.
fantastic.
Right. And so it's just like embrace what comes your way. Okay. If you're not having a good time at the party, leave and
Make your
God
own
will,
fun. That's right.
make your own
Make
fun.
your own
Go
fun.
home and fuck with your the one you brought you, or stop at another party on the way home.
Or just go
That's what's
dance.
great.
That's right. Yeah.
Go dance at a Halloween
Go
party.
dance.
See who
And when you're not wearing panties and you're out dancing,
you're out
you get a
dancing, and
lot of
the
you
fingers
get a
come
lot
on
of
in, and you're
yeah.
and when they all figure out that you're
That you're
okay with
okay
it,
with it.
these
You
young
get a
guys
little
are like,
lineup.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
twice their age, and they're lining up to
Yeah.
do this. And I'm like telling them, hey, if you're not making this happy, then move on, because there's another guy coming on next. So go to another party and get fingered by another guy.
That happened to me in Las Vegas. Just same exact thing.
I
Just
wanna be a girl.
dancing, having a great time, kissing on this guy. And then he was like, woo. I was like, oh, I kind of like that. Well, then somebody heard it.
Why can't I stand in a bar and have women
Oh,
lined up to jerk me off?
oh,
Because you're not
I'm
dressed
so
like it.
so
Are you
so
dressed? Are you
unfair.
dressed like Tarzan standing there? No.
Well,
Did
if
you
that's
go
what
into
it
a bar
takes, that's
dressed
what
like
it
that?
takes. I'll do it tonight.
I'm saying your body is
God.
hot enough. You can put yourself in a
Oh
loincloth and go
yeah.
to a Halloween party. Try it. This you can go to a Halloween, just a regular Halloween party dressed as Tarzan in a loincloth without underwear underneath and let
Hey,
them have the time, have a good time.
I'm
just
going to
do it. Take a potato.
I'm
Take a
going
potato.
uh
Not use it the way that Janet had talked about with other vegetables. But take a potato and tell it just have a hard dick and go as a dictator. So it's simple. All you need to do is have a robe, get hard. I'm a dictator. There you go.
That's so good.
that will
Oh,
be
you know
my
you're going to
backup.
do
That
it.
will be my backup plan. No, I'm going to Spirit or ordering on Amazon like is
Potato.
at the
He's going to order
conclusion
on
of this.
Amazon a
No,
big ass potato.
I got a potato.
I got a potato. Those are cheap. Right.
I'm gonna
Oh,
probably test all these theories. I'm
The
going as
pumpkin costume
Tarzan. I
was
swear
funny.
if I
Come
don't
on.
get jerked off, I'm coming home throwing that costume away.
You just don't know with some of these parties. And I mean, the whole thing is, you knew if you were going to our little network of parties, you were going to have some fun. And you
yeah,
also
it was
knew that the
totally up to
costume
you.
was
That's right.
right. You started out with the costume; it's coming off within 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Points for coming in with the costume, and points for coming in. That nun costume that Boo wore, that
Oh,
was
yeah.
so funny.
Fabulous. Fabulous.
And the thing is,
It,
like he stopped by on his way to another party. And he told me later I had more fun at that party than I did at the regular party that I was supposed to go to.
I have no doubt. Yeah. Can
it
you
may
just see her? Oh, God, that was so hot. She
it
had
may
her wine and then boom.
it may drive D crazy, but I mean, I would go to a regular bar like you did
Right.
on Halloween in this
Right.
Tarzan
Yeah.
costume.
Oh, honey.
Why not
And
do it? You will get felt up.
Oh,
I
like I
mean,
said, if I didn't, that thing's going in the fucking trash.
oh, I think you would get assaulted if you wanted it. Yes.
right. And
I
you
I
have
mean,
to.
yep, I will have a couple drinks. I will do the body language that suggests that I'm available. Come check it out. I'll have her kind of swing through and fluff me every few minutes to
That was,
Yeah.
the guys would come over and they would be like, they would look at my husband like, is it okay? And when the first guy did it and my husband didn't flinch, they were all like, hey, he's into this.
Yeah.
And he was into that. Now, I don't know if he had any girls accost him but he was wearing like a tux outfit
Yeah.
type. So he was not as accessible. I was totally accessible. And here I am worried about whether or not I'm going to be wearing this into this bar and how much skin I'm showing. And when I see the next group of girls, and I mean, they're like in their 20s and 30s, getting out and the costumes that they were wearing, and they were showing more skin than I was.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
You
yeah.
know, Daisy Duke shorts and little bandanas around their boobs,
Well, yeah, it was when I retired. We went to Las Vegas and stayed up late and went to the clubs that don't even open until 11:30, which is not my hour at all.
right?
But we had such a good time. And then I would call my husband and tell him about all the fucking around I did, or when I was out there dancing and getting
Right.
fingered. Oh, we'd laugh. And then one time we went to a club and there was this really attractive young man. He couldn't have been more than, I don't know, he was 30 maybe. He was one of the bouncers. And we're walking in and you have to, go through the line because there's so many people going in. And I had been drinking, go figure. And I made a comment. I was like, hey, my room number is, and I could remember it because it was like 1, 2, 3, 4. And so I was just like, my room number is 1, 2, 3, 4. Come on, visit me or something like that. By golly, he did. He showed up at 2:30 in the morning. Fuck this door.
We're going to end up on 48 hours or Dateline for being murdered or whatever by the guy. Come on, I'm old.
Yeah.
I
was like,
hey, how many
you
times
showed
does that
up.
happen?
So, yeah.
Right.
He showed up. So we had a good time.
I've always had that fantasy. God dang it, man. I'm just going to equate it to timing because I hear about it happening, but I've never been there where when you were there and just throwing a room number like that, and I just
I couldn't
I've
believe he was, I just couldn't believe he showed up. And then I was there with two of my other friends that don't know anything about my lifestyle.
and I've
But
just always wanted to
they
knock on
just,
the door and then just be like, "Hi," and I just like we can get right to it. I just want to introduce myself. I'm Girth Brooks.
yeah. I get to think, I don't think I ever knew that young man's name. Nope.
Oh, God
Nope.
bless
He
you.
showed up at the door. And I was
I
like,
don't know if
oh,
any of those dudes name in that bar that
hi.
made me really happy, but I
Oh,
came a couple
no,
times and
no,
there was
no.
liquid on the floor.
People were slipping and sliding.
I just want to be standing there in this loincloth.
Mhm.
Just none of you can be first, but you can all be next.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
No, I like the dictator costume. I think that's funny as
It's simple. That's right.
right.
You
I will
could,
save
you can be elaborate and get a large potato and drill it
right.
out, but
I will save for another podcast the New Year's stories because I have some New Year's
oh, I do
Eve
too.
stories.
Now those are
Right.
great. I have a couple
So
of those. Yeah.
we'll save that for another time. And then I'm thinking as we go through this, one of these times we're just gonna have one episode where I'm writing down all the vocabulary words that we have, and we'll just throw them out there and see if we can define them all. And just do that for an episode so that as those people who are flies on the wall who are jumping in the middle, if you want to know what episode we were talking about in the beginning, and we were talking about Steve's, it's Steve's Answers. So you can go find Steve's Answers and listen to that podcast where Steve talks about some stuff, and then if you listen to the end, I talk about some stuff. That's what Roger was commenting on. I'm pretty sure the next time that we talk to Roger, he'll comment on another one that he happened to not be at. But I miss you. I'm very happy that you're back on the podcast and ready to go. And I'm really looking forward to hearing from some of your new friends. Maybe we can get them on the podcast and
Yep,
talk to them about their
I'm
stuff.
working that, and we'll talk about it. But yeah, I miss you guys too. I get used to doing this, and then when it's not, and then when you're that's bad enough, and then when you're listening to it and you weren't there, it's just like oh,
You miss it. Yeah.
FOMO,
Right.
FOMO.
FOMO.
Well, you'll get to hear the stories and then get to comment on it. And I'm sure. And so I'm sure as you go to these Halloween parties, I want to hear if there's anything else. But I don't. In my visual, it's still the nun getting sucked off by little Bo Peep.
None
I don't
getting
think it
sucked
gets
by
better than that. I don't think
yeah,
it gets better than that.
none
Uh,
getting blown by little Bo Peep
although
and Caitlyn
the two
Jenner blowing a
guys,
priest. I mean, it's you're just those are kind of a
Yeah,
you don't see
that's
that.
great.
You still don't see that every time. So
and so I want to be clear. It was guy on guy that you saw, correct?
yep, yep. It guy
Oh
on
See,
yeah.
guy.
and that's most
But
guys.
they were still in costumes.
Right,
That's
so
Well,
I'm fine with that. Most guys get all whipped out. Dee's going, yeah. Most guys get all freaked out when they two guys doing each other. Like we were at a
who
party,
cares? Yeah.
we were at a party and walked by, and in a smaller room was two guys. They were army guys, and they were doing each other. And hubby says to me, "Oh my god, like it's a big thing." And I was like, I don't know. Can we stop and watch a little bit? Because he's like, it's not hot. I'm like, yeah, it's hot. The only thing I
Yeah,
don't like
it is.
is when it's a really hot guy that's fucking another hot guy. It's like, what a waste. Can you come and fuck me?
Yeah.
you know, and as that's not my thing. I can
But not that
appreciate
there's anything wrong with it. Not that,
I can appreciate the fact that they are just seeking pleasure the same way I am.
Right.
Just
I
by their own definition, and again, kind of in their own sexuality.
that's
not
right.
my husband's thing. We were at a party one time, somebody's house. It was a house party, and new people. We knew the people who were hosting it, so we were pretty comfortable. Uh, we were doing a my husband was, I was on top of my husband, fucking him. And then somebody was coming behind me and he was doing a DP. And that guy was fucking me from behind. And then at one point, he stopped fucking me from behind and he started sucking on my husband's dick. And hubby, when he figured out, like he talked about how the sensation was pretty good. And then he realized, oh, wait, I'm looking at Janet's mouth and she's looking at me. Whose mouth is that? And then he figures out that it's not a
Whoever's
woman.
it was, they didn't shave.
And then he goes limp quick. Okay. He goes really limp quick.
Shrinkage.
And he said, I'm sorry, this is just not for me. And then it ended. And we, I had to go get a drink of water, whatever. It was a very awkward situation. We lent it. And then this couple had said to us later, as we were, I had played with him individually again. And when I was playing with him, I figured out that he was a smoker. And so I was like, okay, I'm in a party. I haven't read your profile. You haven't read my profile. So there's no harm here. You haven't misrepresented. We happen to be there together. Fine. I'll lick the ashtray a little bit, make me come, and then I'm never going to see you again. Okay. So then this couple reaches out to us after the party and says, we'd like to get together. And we always manage to have something to do. And finally, she says to me the one day, are you not getting back together with us because of what my husband did with your husband? And I said, no, you guys were just experimenting with stuff. I'm not getting together with you because I don't do smokers.
Oh,
Sorry.
I thought you were gonna say when I got home and blew my husband, it tasted like marbles.
Yeah.
Would have been the right answer. That would have been so good, but I'm not that mean, and I would have done it. But that is a great joke.
Switch to menthol at least.
Ew.
Because she was all concerned. I mean, we're the type of people that if you want to try it, then fine, but it's just not his thing. It's not in his head. It's not in his fantasy. So it's not. And I wasn't like that until Barbie's the one that taught me that, hey, when two guys are getting together, it's really hot. Take a look.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I want to be right in the middle of it.
I do too. I want to be in the bisexual middle of it.
Oh,
I want you guys
yeah.
to be bisexual. Please do me and do him. And then
Oh,
do me
yeah.
again.
Just put me in the middle of the pile. Let's just
And y'all should see Roger's look on Roger's face. He's got that little sour thing of, oh my gosh, it's just disgusting.
No, it's just no, it's not this face at all. This face is like, I mean, I would like the same thing in my version, and Dee's usually quick to remind me, keep in mind when that's going on, it's not really about you. And I'm like,
Yeah.
thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Sucks to be a guy, huh?
All right.
So I tell you guys the same thing. When two guys are going at it like that, the last thing they want is a woman.
I know, and that's what's so.
That's the bad part. Yeah.
That's part of the
part.
mystique of it too, is that we know that, and we as women we can't stand that.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, it becomes a challenge, and
we
how
all
we are with challenges.
We all want to have that badge of honor of being the legend. I converted someday. I fucked a lesbian and she liked it.
That's right. I blew a gay guy, and he's like, "That's the best I've ever had it done."
That's even better.
Yes. I think this is a great time for us to end on the podcast. We always end up laughing so hard. I almost pee my pants, which is what's happening again.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a truth.
Anyway. So to all those flies that on the wall that have listened to this episode, I hope you've made it to the end. I'm glad that you're here. Please tell your friends on the download. If you want to get in on the conversation, if you have topics that you would like for us to discuss, the easiest way to get hold of us is to go to the website, which is beyondmonogamypodcast.com. Roger's email's on there. My email's on there. It's a great way to contact us. One day we'll get Barbie's email up there if you want to talk to her. Thank you for listening to this, and please tell your friends. And if you're on that website, leave a tip for Mandingo, because he produces these things for free, and he just does it out of the goodness of his heart. And plus, he likes the salacious talk that we have. So it's great. And I'm going to tell all of you guys out there to please come again and come again and come again.
That's it for this episode of Beyond Monogamy. We hope you enjoyed our podcast, and we look forward to having you back again for the next episode of Beyond Monogamy.